What is going on, everybody? ZakRC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 3 of the F1 23 Road to GOAT Driver Career Mode series for the first sprint round of 2024. Welcome to the Sao Paulo Interlagos circuit for round 3 of the championship. If you guys did miss the last episodes I uploaded previously, make sure to go check those out before you see this one. And make sure to subscribe to keep up with everything that goes on in this season of Road to GOAT. So lining up here for the sprint race here at Interlagos should be a very entertaining affair indeed, as it has been in the last few seasons of the series back on F1 22. And hopefully with the field as close as it is, it should be as entertaining. So off we go now for the formation lap, starting P7 for the sprint race. Of course, only the top 8 get points in this little teaser for the race itself, which should be a very entertaining affair as well. So the main aim for today, we try and score points and move up towards the front of the order, try and get ourselves in a better position for the Grand Prix itself tomorrow. All soft tyres, everyone should be going absolutely pedal to the metal here over the course of the 12 laps upcoming, so it should be very entertaining indeed. Up to the line now, getting our grid spot this time as opposed to last time out in Jeddah. And no more talking, then time for the lights. Here we go for the sprint race, the first one of the season here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And it's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. We are underway in the sprint. Decent getaway from the cars in front of us. We go down the middle of both Sainz and Verstappen and to the inside of our teammate George Russell into turn number 1. We go Albon away with the lead. Our old teammate from season 1 in the Williams, now in the McLaren, pulling away with the top spot. Leclerc in second and Norris in third. Both those two previous race winners here at Interlagos. So down towards turn 4 we come now. A decent gap already pulled to the podium places. And we sit here in P4. So a good getaway. 3 places gained overall. Not too bad at all. And of course, we'll try and close up to those main 3 as well as keeping ahead of Verstappen and Russell. On to lap number 3 here. Albon shows the way, nearing the first quarter of this sprint race coming to an end. And DRS deployed for the first time in this sprint race. So of course, we're in prime position to try and take Lando Norris in the Red Bull KTM as you come down the straight towards turn number 4 once again. But Norris has the DRS as well off Leclerc, and he's just too far away from us to actually make any difference in terms of battling him for position. So we maintain spot for the time being. Well, let's try and closer and closer as we go on to lap number 4 now. Again, into that 4th turn. Norris goes a bit too wide there on the exit. It's our prime opportunity now to try and go for that 3rd spot on the road as we're going to look to the outside of the racetrack, going towards turn number 6. Now down to the inside if we can. Muscle away inside underneath him. Norris gets out of our way very nicely there, and we're up into 3rd place. We'll go wide there in the entry to turn 7, and Norris goes back through again.
Sorry guys, I ran wide. I'll try going back.
And the fight will hopefully continue with ourselves and Lando in the Red Bull as we push on to the end of lap number 5 now, into the 3rd and last sector on the circuit. Verstappen only half second back, so in a Red Bull sandwich here. But while Norris is getting away, Verstappen is slowly reeling us in. The Dutchman looking to make an early move for the 4th spot as he goes down the main straight. He'll have prime advantage. The DRS in his favour. Down the main straight we come, and back towards turn 1 for lap 6. The top 3 go roaring by. There goes Verstappen to our inside into that first corner. Red Bull on the inside of the Mercedes, and Verstappen gets the job done through turn number 1 and through the centre rest. We go a bit over the curbs there, but keeping it right behind our rival in the Red Bull, who of course took victory last time out in Saudi Arabia. Looking to go 2 for 2 on the trot if he can. Going to pull to the outside of Verstappen though, going towards turn number 4. On the brakes, into the corner we come. Verstappen has the inside line. We look to try and switch back, but he held his nerve, held his line very nicely indeed there. So Verstappen maintains P4, but only for a moment. We're going to go to the outside this time, as opposed to the inside we did with Lando a couple of laps ago. Around the outside, very close to contact with the Dutchman, and keeping it on the circuit. Still side by side with him. Fantastic racing here with Max Verstappen as we go on his inside here through turn number 7. On the exit, looking to try and pull in front, but it's still dead even here. Neither one of us willing to give in. Verstappen has the inside line this time round, but we'll have the inside now for this very sweeping left-hander at the end of the 2nd sector, and we finally emerge back in front of the Dutchman. But by this point, Norris, Leclerc, Albon, 3 seconds up the road. We go wide there out of Junso and up the hill back towards the start-finish line. Verstappen is all over us, and don't count out Sainz either. Yellow flag behind us, and who is that? Looks like Sainz off the pace here, coming off the last couple of corners. Verstappen's inside there as we go towards turn 1. So Sainz falling away here. Some kind of problem on that car. Have a look at the replay here, see just what's happened to him. He's right there behind us dueling, watching us and Verstappen duel for position. There's a huge puff of smoke out the back of the World Champions car, and Sainz, it looks like his race is done as he pulls it over at the entry of turn number 2. So Sainz becomes the the first retiree of this race. Meanwhile, up front, Albon still shows the way with a few laps to go, but Leclerc all over him here, looking to try and take the lead back for himself. Of course, Leclerc's won this race in the past, took victory in Season 1 and went on to win the World Championship in that race. Leclerc takes the lead away from Alexander Albon, who now looks to try and get Leclerc back and then try and fend off Norris as well. Meanwhile, in our case, on lap 11, we're still trying to fight our way around Verstappen. Towards 7 we go, and looking to the inside. Let's try and dive as deep as we can. Verstappen only just gives us the room. We're ahead on the exit, and we're going to try and squeeze in through turn 8 there to try and maintain the position for ourselves. So P4, once again, back in our position when we're trying to finish this Grand Prix if we can, because I doubt we'll catch those podium runners with a lap to go. Verstappen to the outside of the racetrack as he starts that final lap, lap 12 of 12. Verstappen jumps into 4th as he goes towards turn 1, and dive back to his inside into turn 1. Very tight indeed. Again, Verstappen gives us the room, very sportsmanlike from the Dutchman, and we're going to move back into P4 out of turn at number 2 and through that sweeping turn 3. We are away, but Verstappen and Russell now both have DRS. Verstappen closing the gap and look to the outside of the racetrack, going to give him the room, but block him off just about. Thought we were going to give him the room for a second, but decided not to there. And now through turn 4, holding on to 4th place only just by the skin of our teeth. But Verstappen now looks to our outside. Again, we cover him nice and easy, but Verstappen finding a way as he always does. Almost went around our outside like we did against him a couple of laps ago, but it wasn't to be that time. But he could get one more chance at us. Oh, gone way wide there. Got on the exit of turn number 7. But Verstappen, especially looking up that main straight where the DRS comes to his favour, will have one last opportunity to try and get us for 4th place. Leclerc, meanwhile, has held off Albon and Norris and run across the line to take victory in the sprint, and will start on pole position for the Grand Prix, as well as a full 8 points towards his championship. Not good for us, considering he's chasing us in the standings. Verstappen closing on us here as he runs towards the line, looking to try and nick another place off us if he can. Verstappen to the inside. We squeeze in towards the wall, but it's not quite enough. Verstappen 4th, us 5th.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Oh, good sprint, boys. And good step for the rest of mine. Well done.
Well, what an exciting sprint race that was. As much as we would have liked to challenge the leaders, it wasn't to be today. Leclerc wins it for them from Albon and Norris. Verstappen in the end pips us for 4th place by just about 10th or so. Russell in 6th place, Piastri 7th, and Pierre Gasly swipes the final points on offer. This brings our gap in the championship to Leclerc down to 9 points. Verstappen now up into 3rd place with his points over Piastri and Stroll. And in terms of the constructors, we still lead the way, but Red Bull closing in with those extra points today, but we still lead by 14 over McLaren, so that'll be the main threat. So we'll now jump into the Grand Prix, and hopefully it should be as entertaining as the sprint was. So here we go then, we'll jump right into the Grand Prix, and which should be, as I say, if it's anything like the sprint, it should be an absolute cracker. 36 laps of action coming your way here at Interlagos. And at this point in the video, guys, if you haven't subscribed already after that fantastic sprint race, I do recommend you do so in order to keep up with all the action coming the rest of the way over Season 3. We've got 13 more rounds to come after this one, but this was the main focus today, the Brazilian Grand Prix of Season 3 of the series, and looking towards what should be a fantastic race indeed. Looking at your starting grid there's Théo Pourchaire in the Audi. Of course, it's just his 3rd start in Formula 1. That was his 1st sprint race just then. Hopefully it went well for him. Didn't see much of him over the course of our race, and we start there in 5th place, only just after being beaten to the line by Verstappen. So it's a place lost and a point lost too, so our main aim will be try and beat Verstappen and Leclerc in order to get those points back.
We're in a good position from yesterday. Gonna try and deliver the win for you guys. Good luck.
Can we win the Brazilian Grand Prix from 5th place on the grid? We've seen a certain Mercedes driver do it a few seasons ago from further down than this. Regardless, looking at strategy for this one, we're going to go for the ultimate strategy today, going from mediums to hard tyres. Pitting on lap 17, off those mediums and onto the whiteboard hards, and of course turn down the fuel as we usually do. So hopefully that should play into our favour, but of course a couple of drivers behind us making different choices there. Russell starts on the soft, Piastri on the soft tyre as well. Verstappen and Norris both on the mediums, same as us, but are their plans the same though? Let's keep an eye on that over the course of the race. This could be a race of strategy potentially, with there's a bunch of different tactics that teams can employ going into this one, so it should make for a very entertaining affair indeed, both on the racetrack and on the pit wall as well. So keep an eye out for that over the course of the Grand Prix. Lining up then into our 5th place grid slot for the start of the race. Verstappen on our left there, and Leclerc of course on pole, trying to back it into our slot as much as we can, but we've gone too far forward, and that'll be once again our starting spot reset as it was in Jeddah. Unfortunate there, but hopefully it shouldn't hinder us on the start too much. Here we go now, no more talking, time for action for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the 3rd race of the season. Season 3 of Road to Go, and it's underway. Lights out, foot to the floor once again. Decent start. Norris and Leclerc with a particularly poor getaway, and once again Albon deja vu. He finds himself in the lead before the first corner this time around. We pull to the inside of Verstappen through turns 1 and 2, but the Dutchman pulls in front of us, and once again we find ourselves staring at the rear wing of a Red Bull as we come down through turn number 3 and down towards turn 4 on this opening lap. Albon had the start of absolute dreams there. Now he's in P1, looking to pull away from myself and Verstappen, with Leclerc and Norris struggling to make up ground here in the early parts of this race, but not a good start for those two at all. They'll always try and recover that as the Grand Prix goes on. On to start lap number 3 here. Norris and Leclerc both setting faster starts behind us there. Into turn 1, DRS coming into play for the first time in this Grand Prix, but I think we'll be in a better position to try and defend from it here, as opposed to going on the attack. Verstappen 8/10 up the road and looking to threaten his old teammate Alex Albon for position. Leclerc closing in, but not quite enough just yet. We're in a bit of a safe spot right now, and we're going to maintain our position for the time being. But on to lap number 5 now. We're looking at Verstappen trying to make a move down this main straight. So he's opened up our rear wing here and charging towards the first corner once again, down the main straight and across the line, start lap number 6 this race. Still 30 more to come here, very close to the back wing of that Red Bull, only just avoided hitting in there, and so we managed to maintain our own front wing in that respect. And we'll try and get him again if we can down this next straight. We'll keep him right away to the curbs there that time around through turn 3. Hopefully, again, that's a bit of time, but we're not getting any time down this straight here. Verstappen is closing on Albon, and it can only be a matter of time before the Red Bull goes for the lead here. On to lap 7, though, we'll try and focus on taking Verstappen as best we can. And there could be an opportunity to the inside at turn number 7. Down we go, looking as late as we can on the brakes and pulling in front of Verstappen just about. But he stays side by side with us here. I'm getting senses, again, of deja vu from the sprint race, but with this time, we make short work of him, and we maintain his position, at least for now. But Verstappen going at it again down the main straight, as he did yesterday, down the main straight towards turn 1 on the inside. DRS in his favour as well, and using it to a massive advantage there. Yeah, the slipstream to boot as well. We get no slipstream off Albon being 8/10 in front.
Let's go. That was a good fight.
And it was a good fight indeed. We managed to keep it in front of Verstappen, but he's going to go at us again here onto lap 9. This time has a much better run and pulls clear before we even reach that first corner. And we managed to try and look to get him back before Leclerc tries to take us as well, because we're fighting these two mainly in the race for the Drivers' Championship in these early rounds of the season. As you come through, DRS once again deployed. No DRS for Verstappen. He got us before the detection point and doesn't get it off of Albon, so we get to close in a little bit more here. But it's way too risky to go for a move this far back, especially this early on in the race. Still a long way to go here, so we'll focus on trying to get him back sooner rather than later, of course. But Leclerc, we also got to keep our eye on him behind, as he could try and go for a move at any point. He could be even more careless than potentially us here, and that's definitely careless, punting Verstappen's rear wing and almost starting off the circuit completely there, and almost a bit of a tap to Leclerc. So a poor mistake has cost us a lot of time there. We only just got DRS. Verstappen now a second clear, but Leclerc will be looking to threaten us as well, looking to punish us for that mistake we just made. And we've got no ERS to defend from me either. Poor exit there towards the end of lap number 14 through Yunso, and once again Leclerc is all over us. The Monegasque chasing us in the championship, chasing us in the race, chasing that poor start he made on the opening lap. He pulls to the inside of the racetrack at going towards turn 1 and moves clear of us. We're going to pull out to the inside though if we can and go late on the brakes. Now is the time for us to get a bit more elbows out and make some moves for position. We get up in front of Leclerc out of turn 2 and up into P3 once again over the curbs there. It's Verstappen threatening Albon up front. But Verstappen takes the lead away from Albon here, going on to the end of lap number 15. So we managed to get it, and now we're going to try and take Albon for second place if we can. Our old teammate going wheels to wheels with him for the first time in competitive machinery, going onto the grass a bit there and almost losing grip completely as Russell pulls the car into the pit lane for his first stop of the race. And we're going onto our first stop in a lap or so. Albon maintains position in P2 thanks to that mistake. And on to the end of lap, midway through lap 17 rather, Albon still right there in front. We've gone wide though, going through turn number 9. And looks like Leclerc was going for it for a moment, looked to move to our outside, but couldn't quite make it in there enough.
Alright, box. Coming in this lap.
Here we go now, first pit stop and only pit stop of this Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And looking for those hard tyres, going to get off the medium tyres and onto the hards. So it looks like Leclerc and Albon are both coming with us. We try and beating the Ferrari out at minimum here as they make our way through. Of course, McLaren a very fast pit stop, as they always do, and narrowly beating our championship rival out of the pit lane. 2.2 second pit stop, fantastic stuff. Neither one of the Red Bulls came in with us, because both of them were also on medium tyres in their first stint, so it looks like they are planning something different here. But what that is, we're not quite sure just yet. On to lap 20, both of them still out there with a massive lead. We sit in P4 right now, with the pit stops having mostly cycled through, but still waiting on those two. Albon 2.7 up the road, but Leclerc our main threat. And keep an eye on Oscar Piastri behind as well. And there's George Russell, not too far back either in P7. Leclerc all the way up to the wall there and takes P4 away from us out of turn 1. We're all over them, practically pushing him there through turn 2. And now through turn 3, we're going to try and get him back as best we can, checking our championship standing as well. DRS deployed for us once again and closing in on Leclerc as we're going to pull to the inside of the racetrack and get enough room all the way to all the way down to the grass there and on the inside and making the move stick through turn 4. Now into 5, we've got the position back, and that's the crucial thing for now. Back in P4 and chasing down Alex Albon once again, who's got Norris and Verstappen in front, but Verstappen into the pit lane here, going for a set of soft tyres. Red Bull may have played this to perfection here, but we can't think about them too much because Leclerc's on our inside and Piastri on our outside there. This rookie is making an absolute splash in his rookie season so far. And through turn 2, he almost gets us, but we keep it in front. And Verstappen will emerge from the pit lane just behind us here. We beat him out. He's on those soft tyres, so I think he could be smelling like an absolute rose here. So we need to stay on our toes in order to beat him. And even that might not be enough. Norris into the pit lane here. Soft tyres going on. Red Bull have played this to an absolute masterclass. It's been played to an absolute T for them, as Verstappen is all over us through turn 1. And I've got to say, I do feel very, very bad for our former teammate Alexander Albon at this point, because he's going to have these two bearing down on him in about 6 laps time or so, I reckon, should they get around us very quickly. Verstappen takes us with ease there down the main straight. We don't barely even get a chance to fight back. We're keeping with him. We'll try and make a dive to the inside if we can. It's very close. Verstappen again gives us the room, being very sportsmanlike given how we've seen him race in the past, especially at this circuit when we go side by side with him in the Williams in our very first season going to Brazil. Keep an eye on Leclerc here. Norris is now fighting Verstappen. Those two have fallen away a bit, fighting each other. We're going to pull to the outside of Leclerc towards turn 1, nearing the final 10 laps of the race. Albon 4 seconds in front. You see him go through turn number 3 there. We get in front of Leclerc, but for how long can we keep that? Oh, over the curves there. Big mistake, and that could allow Leclerc and also Norris to close in too. This could be a huge moment of defensive will here as he charged towards turn 4. Leclerc to the inside, Norris to the inside, 3 abreast into the corner, and Lando Norris making light work of the pair of us there and taking away P2 as he races on. So let's try and close down his old friend Alexander Albon in the McLaren, and it could be set for another Norris victory here in Brazil. Verstappen going for it now as well on lap 27 and on to lap 28. Verstappen gets clear, and I think that's the last we'll see of the Red Bulls today.
Sorry guys, those Red Bulls were just too fast.
They've played it to perfection of Red Bull here, and I dare say they'll start running down and catching Alex Albon. Here is Lando Norris now, right on the tail of the tyre driver and looking for the lead here in towards turn 1. Norris pulling to the outside of the racetrack here. Doesn't even need the inside line going in. Into the first corner they go. Norris can't quite outbrake Alex just yet as they go through turns 1 and 2 here. It's rare we keep an eye on a side-by-side battle with the AI, but these two are going to give us some absolutely fantastic racing down towards turn 4. Again, this time Albon with the DRS surges in front, but only for a moment. Norris back around the outside and looking for the lead out of turn 4. Side-by-side again, dead even. Nothing separates them, but Norris sweeps around the outside and takes the lead only just from Alexander Albon. And that's twice now, with just a few laps to go. Albon being shafted in the late stages and unfortunately won't be taking the race win here today as Verstappen goes on through as well. And that is pretty much all she wrote in the race for the top spot now. So on to the final lap. Meanwhile, we still sit here in P4. Leclerc, Russell and Piastri have fallen away a little bit, so it looks like we're safe for the time being. We have to keep up. We can't make any mistakes on this last lap just in case. Lando Norris, though, is coming through the last corner. He's been saved for the race start. He's been flawless almost since the lights went out. He's going to run to the line here to take his first win of the season, his first win for Red Bull KTM. He wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. And as we come through the last couple of corners here, looking just to bring the car home for 4th place. Verstappen will finish in 2nd, Albon 3rd. Leclerc is closing in. I shouldn't think he'll catch us for the line here, but we have to keep our eye out, keep an eye on our battery and just use it all the way up to the run to the line. But Leclerc is closing, but this time we'll maintain P4 and run to the line to take it on the racetrack. Checker flag. What a race here in Brazil. That was fantastic stuff all round.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Solid race guys. Fair play to Red Bull on the strategy. They were just too quick ones at the end. We'll move on to the next one. Silverstone next, that's the big one for us.
We've witnessed some great battles around the historic curves of Interlagos today, and they've taken a fantastic win. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
So there you have it, Lando Norris in one of the first few rare instances in which a driver goes back-to-back at a certain circuit in Road to GOAT. Lando wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. I believe the first driver to win for 2 different teams, if my memory is correct, in this series, which it might not be, you never know. Verstappen comes home in 2nd, 1-2 for Red Bull KTM. That will certainly help their Constructors' Championship efforts, and Albon in 3rd place. How long will he have to wait for that first Grand Prix victory? We'll just have to wait and see as the season continues here in Road to GOAT.
Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Anne?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
Let's move on to the constructors, and Red Bull take over as championship leaders. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
I'll be honest, Crofty, neither can I. So there is your final results. Norris wins it from Verstappen and Albon. We finish in 4th, narrowly over Leclerc. Russell in 6th place, Piastri 7th. Sainz charges back through the field to finish in 8th. He had a penalty after the sprint and now finishes with 4 points to his name. Stroll 9th, and Gasly takes the final point away from Felipe Drugovich in 11th. No retirees in that Grand Prix, so successful day for every team all around, especially for those point scorers. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we still lead the way by 9 points, but now over Verstappen and not Leclerc. We gained 2 points on him today. And Norris sits there in P4 now, so Red Bull KTM, welcome back into the championship fight. And a rough start to the season, especially with Verstappen's retirement from the lead in Australia, but now lead the Constructors' Championship by 6 points. So Mercedes and McLaren, as well as Ferrari, have work to do going to Silverstone, which is only the next race, our home Grand Prix. It should be a very exciting affair indeed. So that, guys, will be the end of this episode. I do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, talk to you guys in a while. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.